is running out to file those last-minute taxes. 2022 tax day is focused on two things: deadlines and refunds. And the last day to do that is on Monday, April 18th. Tax day usually falls on April 15th, but instead the pushback will now give you an extra 3 days to get them done. That's because Emancipation Day is celebrated on April 16, which federal employees are given the day off, including the IRS. And with it almost being the weekend now, the next weekday is on Monday, the 18th. And to talk to us more about tax day and what we should know, joining us now is a certified financial planner and tax preparer at Petso Financial Consultants, Thomas Brown. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you. Let me be on.
Well, let's go ahead and dive in. So there's a lot of new things happening, or that happened over the past year, just kind of like child tax credits and stimulus checks. So are there any changes that we should know about?
Yeah, those are the two big changes for this year. The advanced child tax credit is causing some real issues because people are getting this, what is supposed to be getting this 6419 letter that shows how much they received last year so they can report that on their taxes. If they didn't receive it, or they threw it away, or they didn't understand what they were getting, that's causing some tax returns to be held up because they're not putting in the exact amount. And when that isn't exact, then the IRS has to physically go, or well, they have to manually go back and review those returns and find out what the errors are, and it's really holding up some returns. So it's really important that if people are getting these, and we're right at the end, so most people have filed their taxes, but if they haven't, look for that, and they did receive one of those advanced child tax credits last fall, make sure that they're using the amounts that are listed on those letters when they file their taxes.
Yeah, and we want to make sure that, we're doing our taxes correctly. So what are some common mistakes we should be aware of?
Well, it's funny. Some of the most common mistakes are entering social security numbers wrong, addresses wrong, if you've changed your name, having the wrong name on the return, last names. The IRS checks the last name with versus the the social security number. Those are still the highest errors, are those entry errors, or entering in data incorrectly. I know a lot of times with TurboTax and some of those, they download all the information. That makes it easier. E-filing makes it better. Paper filing really bogs things down. So if you can e-file instead of paper filing, it makes things more efficient. But I know that still a lot of people are still, in the Stone Age and still doing them by paper. But e-filing still is the way to go.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, the IRS says that they're still facing a backlog from last year due to the pandemic. So how will that affect us this year?
Well, I think with this advanced child tax credit issue where people are having to enter in that data, it's something new. With the stimulus, people are getting letters about what they received in stimulus. They need to report that. It's not taxable, but they have to report it. And if they enter that incorrectly, that just causes more returns to be put on hold. And that's frustrating for people. And the IRS was, I think, like 6 million returns from last year were still not processed as of the end of the last year. I don't know how much they have caught up, but I know it was really frustrating last year because you couldn't get any answers from the IRS. If you tried to call them, you get bogged down and usually wouldn't talk to anybody. I think it's still hard to get any answers. So yeah, I don't think that's going to improve anytime soon if you do have some sort of problem with your return.